Welcome to When Good Things Happen, where our mission is to inspire people to discover and learn about all the things that can really make the golden years the very best of your life and share a few financial ideas to help you make your vision for retirement a reality. Host Tom Gandolfi is your guide on a how-to adventure to help enhance your retirement lifestyle.
Hey folks, welcome to the show again. This is Tom, and got a great lineup here today. We've got a couple of guests here, and 2020 and 2021 have been extraordinary years for many different reasons. And as you all know, I do this podcast because I love talking about things that people who are planning on retiring, or maybe have already retired, can do and maybe have some interest in. And that might be things that help them with their financial plan. It might be things that are more lifestyle based. Maybe we talk about vacation sometimes, or things they want to do with their free time, or whatever. But the last 2 years have been extraordinary in the real estate market. And I thought that this would be a great opportunity to bring in a couple experts, talk a little bit about real estate, specifically about real estate here in the Atlanta market, kind of what's gone on. Some of it's been crazy, and maybe what we can expect moving forward. And I thought that this was really a great topic to get into, because so many things change when we retire, and we all have different dreams and different aspirations and different directions that we want to go in. And, some of you are thinking, I really love the house that I'm in, but it's a little big and I don't really want to have to deal with the maintenance anymore. Maybe you're thinking about downsizing. Maybe that's not you at all. Maybe you love where you live and you want to stay there, but you're looking at maybe real estate as an investment opportunity. Perhaps you've got kids that are now having grandchildren and you want to be close to the grandkids. So maybe you're thinking about maybe moving out of state, or relocating, or buying a second property. So wanted to kind of cover the whole real estate thing today. And I've got Leah and Susan with me, as I said, two experts in the field. They're agents here in Atlanta. And we're going to have a conversation about all things real estate. So welcome, ladies.
Hello, how are you?
Thanks, Tom. Thanks so much for having us. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you came in today. So real estate market's been kind of wild, wild west for the last year and a half, hasn't it?
Oh, yes. It's been a ride that we've all just been enjoying. It has been very unusual. I think that since COVID, July of 2020, it started to take off, and we have just seen incredible numbers ever since.
And just a little bit about us guys. We are a family team, the Riess Team. It's myself, Leah, my sister-in-law, Susan, father-in-law, her dad, Tom. We've got our daughter, Ashlyn, on board that does our staging. And we have Jeff Muller that's on the team as well. He's like family. But we've got about 40 years of real estate experience. We all work very well together. And we're just so happy to be here to share some of our insights on what the real estate market has it's really come far, like Susan said, from COVID. And we just continue to ride the wave and just having a great time doing it.
Yeah, that's why I asked you to come in. So, you've got lots of experience, obviously, on your team. Have you ever seen a market like this? In Atlanta, I mean, we've heard stories. We've probably all heard the stories of bidding wars, maybe on the two coasts, beach properties or destination properties. But we're talking about the regular market here in Atlanta, where there's bidding wars. I mean, there's competition. There's really not just a standard sale anymore, is there?
No, not at all.
No. And in fact, you're talking about the two coasts. We've seen an unprecedented amount of people who are actually moving from California.
Can't imagine why.
And coming to the Atlanta market.
Mm-hmm.
One is that we just have tremendous infrastructure here, but also the airport. Many people are able to move here and still commute to their offices all around the United States. So it's been just the perfect storm between, the coast and the trials of COVID, and then people coming here with money that we've never seen before, selling their place in LA and having no problem dropping, 2-3 million over in Milton. So it's been very, very unusual.
And just like you mentioned, we're riding the wave now, go through the ups and downs, but, it's a great time to sell. But a lot of sellers ask, where do I go? Because they're going to face the same thing on the buying side where they're going to be paying a premium for these houses. But, we're here. We've got solutions. So, take advantage while you can, sell your home. We've been in lots of situations where we've gotten multiple offers for well over asking price, no contingencies, including no appraisal contingencies. But we have found a place for our buyers to go temporarily until they're ready to buy again, if they don't have a place to go just yet. So we've got options, and that's the key, is knowing people in the area, maybe grabbing a private sale so that you don't have to list your home if you just don't want to have the hassle of listing. We can a lot of times do a private sale and not have to worry about your sellers going through the hassle of that.
Yes, and in this market in particular, which I think would be very attractive to a lot of your people that are listening, is that in this market we've been able to negotiate temporary occupancy in many cases up to 2 months.
That's
So
interesting, yeah.
You go ahead and close on your house, you might find some new construction that you're going to have to wait a bit, but it's our job to help you negotiate to get to stay in your home a little longer. And you're basically living there rent-free if we can negotiate that. And you've already got your money in the bank, and you can just rest and relax. Well, you'll be packing.
Yeah,
but,
not too much relaxing going on, but
Yeah.
at least you'll have a new home.
Exactly. You'll have the money in the bank.
But I think the key for everybody out there listening is just to find the right real estate agent, because it's not just putting a sign in your yard. It's not just helping you find a home. It's going through negotiations. It's going through appraisal contingencies, financing contingencies, finding that right buyer that is going to help you get to the finish line.
Yeah, and another thing I want to mention is, our crew, our team, we all work together to help you make your house sell at the highest price possible. And one thing we offer, and I would look for an agent that does this, is a staging professional. We have someone on staff that is part of our team that comes in, and we walk through your house. We give you a list of things we think you need to accomplish before we can get the photographer there. And then you get all those things either out of there, put away, thrown away, taken to Goodwill. And then we come in with some of our, if needed, some fresh things so you don't have to go buy stuff and spend money on your old house. You can save it for your new house. We will come in with new pillows, artwork, things that make it look like a model home, and give you the best chance for selling it.
Because online, everyone is looking online these days. Your presence, when it first hits the market, has got to be top notch. We have a very specific strategy on the day we list, the day we take photos, the day it hits the market, open houses. We want to generate as much attention and excitement on that property as possible to get the multiple offers, to get over asking price. So that is the key, is finding the right agent to help pull all of that together.
Yeah, so you guys brought up a couple interesting things there. Obviously there's a lot of interstate moving around going on. People are moving out of some of the higher tax states, looking for maybe a little more friendly situation, especially as they get closer to retirement. And obviously, if you're shopping from out of state, you're probably doing a lot of that online. So I would imagine that the photogenic aspect of the property is probably a huge factor, probably much more so now than it ever has been in the past.
We've had 2 homes this year that were under contract sight unseen.
Wow.
Right? They didn't even make it here, and they were already buying the home. So that's very unusual.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So let's talk about the staging for a second. So obviously you come in and make some recommendations, try to spruce the house up and really have it put its best foot forward. Do you see that enhances the price that the seller is able to get?
100%.
Really? Okay, great. And I would imagine it probably also helps with speed to contract.
100%.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And again, that's something else that we have access to on our team. We have people that can come in many times. A fresh coat of paint doesn't cost that much, but on the back end, you will, reap the rewards of taking the time to do that, because people come in, they look at your house, they're like, gosh, nothing here to do, so let's pay more than full price because we're not going to have to spend a lot of money after closing. So we have a team as well that will come in and give you prices, quote you on some of these items that need to be done prior to, and get it done as fast as possible.
That's great. So you can help with contractors and kind of make some recommendations there?
Yes.
Good.
First impressions are key in this market. Got to get the most excitement, the most bang for your buck, and more people looking at it online.
And the crazy thing is, 2 years ago, if a house was on the market 30 days, that was, no problem
Not
at
much,
all.
right?
But now if a house has been on the market for 14 days, people are like, oh, there must be something wrong, And that's just, not the way it was before. But the reality is you want someone who's going to make sure you put that best foot forward and you can get it sold in 3 to 5 days.
That's pretty amazing.
We have our strategy. One important key in this, in addition to our stager, is our professional photographer. You do not mess around with just a average run-of-the-mill photographer. He's got to be a real estate photographer. We've got an amazing guy who takes the most amazing photos. That first impression online is what creates the excitement.
That makes a lot of sense. So, from a pricing strategy perspective, I hear different things about how to do this. And I guess I would refer to it maybe as a kind of a high-low strategy. So I know that people are seeing these prices, and we all want top dollar for our properties, obviously, right? So the initial impulse is probably to list as high as you think you can possibly push it. Is that the right way to go?
So we kind of have another strategy there. You're hearing about all our strategies here. We're giving away all our best secrets. But
that's what you're here for.
We as a team meet, discuss the comps, and then we have a range. And we always, put our best effort into giving our clients a range, a low and a high. But what we're seeing, and it's been repeatedly a good strategy over and over again, is of that range to go low, because you will end up getting over the high range. Because if you make that home seem like a great value, then people have no problem giving you over asking price. But more importantly, over asking price, the thing you really want is no appraisal contingency. And if they're willing to pay more than you listed it at, then it's on them. So they're just going to have to bring more cash to the table, which in many cases, we're seeing people that are doing over 40% down on a house, and in many cases the appraisal is just waived because
Got it, because they put so much down.
Right. The lender's not worried about losing money on it. But again, like Leah was just saying, finding an agent who knows the right offer, and when you're comparing offers, they might look the same, but then when you see if it's in an FHA or conventional or a cash offer, but with the right to finance. There's just all kinds of clauses and escalation clauses that, in fact, we haven't used until those last couple of years on a regular basis.
Right.
Now, so you want to make sure you've got somebody experienced enough to know all the tools in the toolbox to use, and or, if you're buying, and or making sure you're analyzing these offers correctly.
And our goal is to get as many people through the door that first weekend so that we do create that excitement. We have open houses and people are looking around going, oh my goodness, this person might be putting an offer in. I need to put it in as well. So getting as many offers as possible so that we do have those multiple offers to be able to compare, choose the right one, and maybe a backup offer or two, so that if something does fall through with that first one, we've got something to fall back on.
That makes a lot of sense, because I actually just heard something the other day, and prices have shot up so quickly. I mean, this has been unprecedented. It's been crazy. The last 12 months especially has just been nuts. And I think the peak was was it early summer this year when it was just going absolutely bonkers? Or maybe we're not even at the peak yet. I know that in early summer it was just nuts. I mean, the competition was crazy. It seems like every person I talked to about this had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 offers on their house.
Oh, yeah, I just have to stop and mention a personal record. One home Leah had in March or April
in the spring
was 36 offers
Oof.
on one house, and it ended up going for $75,000 over. asking price, and with obviously no contingencies whatsoever.
We had back-to-back open houses that weekend, and it was, really COVID. People were still being very cautious. We had people lined up down the street.
Wow.
Waiting
What
to get
price
in.
range was that house in?
That was this. It was in the mid to high threes.
Okay, so the
In
real hot
Fulton,
spot in Fulton County.
Very unique home. Our stager did an amazing job staging. Our photographer did an amazing job photographing. So when, it just created a lot of excitement. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a record.
I think that's a really important part of this that people can't overlook, because you want the competition, you want the feeding frenzy, and you want that obviously to get top dollar. But really maybe more important is to get the terms that you need. I just heard a few days ago that because prices have shot up so quick, that appraisers are having a tough time coming up with accurate appraisals. So I think the statistic that I read was something like 13% of appraisals now are falling short of the contracted offer. So that's where it really matters to have the right people working for you to get the language right in the contract so you don't lose a sale because of a bad appraisal.
Correct.
Right. People are coming to the table these days with no appraisal contingency, just like Susan said. So it doesn't matter. If that house appraises for $50,000 less than what it's under contract for, they're going to come out of pocket. So that's the key, getting as many people through the door, to get as many offers, to get as many of those offers without contingencies is the key.
How about from a investment perspective? Is now a good time for investment properties? Should people wait till things calm down? Is it, should they be selling the investment properties they have now and waiting for maybe a little more friendly buyer's market? I mean, what's your opinion there?
So my opinion there is, I've got an example for you. I've got a client who is waiting for her renters to move out. Mm-hmm. We've got our team of contractors coming in to repaint, refinish the floors, and we're going to list it. Mm-hmm. And then she's going to sell it and sell it at top dollar because she's doing the things. It's going to be like, it's downtown Alpharetta.
Nice.
And she's going to wait and reinvest that money when the time's right. Mm-hmm. So it is an excellent time to get your cash out of a home at this point.
Cash out now and wait for a little more friendly market down the road.
But like I mentioned before, our team is very plugged into the communities around us. A lot of times we can find someone that might not want to go through the hassle of listing. We grab that property, sell it without, having to pay a buyer's agent, so that, we do have, somebody can get in at a pretty decent price. But as Susan said, the market's still pretty tough to purchase right now. I would, we're advising people just to kind of lay low unless something does come on the market that is so attractive that you can't pass up. But
right.
Just lay low for a little bit until the market settles down. And we have seen signs of it settling down a little bit. We still have the multiple offers, but they're not as many.
Not quite as prominent as they were, yeah.
Correct.
Well, what I found to be very interesting, I just heard this again, I think I heard it yesterday, as a matter of fact, or a couple days ago. And I'd be really interested to hear your perspective on it. But Goldman Sachs, big investment company, obviously does all kinds of financial analysis, real estate included. They're actually projecting that in 2022, prices are going to rise another 16%. I mean, this is crazy. In general, real estate, as a rule of thumb, can be counted on to rise 2 to 3% per year in value. Well, we're talking about 16% on top of which has just happened. So we're looking at 15, 16, 17 years worth of appreciation happening over a 2-year period of time. That's unprecedented. Do you see that continuing?
Here's what I think. First of all, just to give them an idea of this year, just 2 counties right here really close. Fulton County, which is a very wide range of neighborhoods all the way down to Buckhead. It grew in price this year so far by about 20%.
That's amazing.
Forsyth County, 29%.
Wow.
They just came out with the Georgia school numbers yesterday. And top 4 elementary schools, or there's top 10, but 4 of those top 10 are in Forsyth.
Are they really? Wow.
3 of the top middle schools in Georgia are in Forsyth. So the prices up there have just gone up leaps and bounds.
Exploded.
We've got a lot of new construction driving that and the shortage. And then the inventory, we haven't really talked about that, but the inventories are so low that that's what's keeping this and the interest rates, you had a lender on recently, were still high 2s, low 3s.
Which is amazing.
Right.
I mean, anyone who thinks rates are high now can't possibly relate to what we've had to deal with in the past.
So when you look at that sales are down or listings are down, it's only because no one, there's not enough inventory out there to choose from. And people can get tired of, putting in an offer and losing when there's multiple
They get frustrated, I'm sure, discouraged.
So that, again, having an agent that can serve you well and make sure you go to it with an offer that's, like you said, the terms are right if you're trying to purchase something, so that you are not losing that battle over and over again.
Yeah, and you really have to have strategies in place and know what you're doing when you are representing a buyer. You've got to go in very strong these days because you will be dealing with multiple offers. So knowing the verbiage, knowing the language, there's so much to a contract that a lot of buyers just don't even realize until you're in the middle of it. And, our job is to make sure that we are representing our buyers and sellers as best we can and to take that transaction to the finish line, but it is having an agent that knows what they're doing and submitting a contract.
Yeah, makes sense. So let's talk about new construction just a little bit. So new construction obviously is, a major part of our economy in general. It affects so many different facets of our economy. And there's been, some talk that maybe builders are slowing down just a little bit. Are you seeing that at all?
So we often compare this housing market to the 2005 housing market craze. Okay. And one major difference is new construction. So new construction in 2005 was twice as many homes being closed as currently this year.
Wow.
Okay. So that gives you an idea of where new construction was in 2005. Builders overbuilt because of the craze. And then when things started to change, they got stuck with all the inventory. Many of them went bankrupt. They had to sell everything. The difference this time is builders are on hold. Like their sales teams, you go into an office and they're like, we'll be releasing 2 more in November. We can put you on our waiting list. So, if you're able to find someone who will write a contract, you're lucky right now. So that, again, is driving people to resales. So, I would encourage people who are thinking about listing your house. Next year is going to continue to be a hot market. I listened to a data analyst for real estate for the city of Atlanta, and he feels like exactly what you just said. We're going to continue to see growth. We're going to continue to see prices go up. And really, 2022 is looking good. The typical real estate market for us, really picks up in February. And you like to have things kind of on the market by June at the latest so that people can reset for the next school year.
So is seasonality still a thing? I know that kind of historically in real estate, the spring has been a really good time to get listed. And then again in the fall. And summer was kind of not quite as attractive. Is that kind of gone away now? Are there new rules?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We're seeing our summer was very, very busy. Oh, yeah. We've just seen a little bit of slowdown now, which historically we're always dead, but we still have, a few couple listings to get closed. But no, it's been for us
kind of
100% nonstop, which we're thankful.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, something else that's an interesting dynamic that you were kind of talking about the 2005 market. We have another factor today to deal with that affects not only real estate, but everything else, and that's inflation. And, I remember hearing just not too long ago, a few months back, about the prices of plywood. A sheet of plywood went from something like $6 to $50 a sheet. I've got a good friend, actually, who's a custom builder down in Buckhead. And he does nice properties, multi-million-dollar properties. And this is why I brought up the new construction thing. He knows there's opportunity. He owns lots, but he's waiting because his construction costs right now are so high between the labor shortage and the crazy prices for supplies. He knows that if he just kind of holds on and carries the note on the land for a little while longer, he can be much more profitable later on, and even potentially offer the price, the houses at a better price, because lumber and whatever else is maybe come down to a more reasonable level. I don't think that's going away, not for a while.
I don't either. And I'm finding new construction, they're actually, you get under contract at a price, but then pre-drywall, they bring you a new price.
Nice.
So, and the unfortunate thing with new construction is currently the builder holds
all the cards.
All the cards. And you really need an agent to protect you, because if I told you the stories of the last year because of shortages,
I'm sure.
And, materials not being available, appliances not being what they wanted, you really need somebody to protect you. So I know you can walk into a sales office and work directly with their sales agent, but just be aware they hold all the cards right now.
And they work for the builder.
Right. Yes, but they do have commission built into their purchase price. So, going in straight with to a builder will not save you any money.
Right. That makes sense.
And also, we are seeing most builders have the escalation clause where they can increase the price of the home until drywall, but there are a few out there that don't have that. So I just got a buyer under contract in new construction Roswell, and they did not have that, and I was very thankful for that. So they're out there. So just if you are interested in new construction, call your agent, call one of us, and we'll help find you something that you'll be happy with.
Kind of funny that they don't have a de-escalation clause if prices go down.
Absolutely not.
They don't do that, do they? So right now, do the sellers hold all the cards in general? In the resale market, do the sellers hold all the cards? Or are there ways that buyers can maybe work with some folks like yourself and maybe, I won't say get a bargain, because I don't think this is a bargain style market, but make a fair deal? Are those deals out there still? Are there fair deals to be had?
Well, it's just a matter of, like we talked about, working with your agent very closely to monitor certain neighborhoods. The way we work a lot is we find out a neighborhood a buyer likes to be in. Well, I'll go and knock on doors. I'll stop people walking down the street and ask.
You're one of those, huh?
I am. Hey, we're just trying to find a house for our buyer. I don't care what it takes. But I do that. And we have done private sales to where it makes it easy for all parties involved. But right now, in my opinion, if you were to list your house, the seller does hold most of the cards, because you're in control of the situation. And like we mentioned earlier, a lot of sellers are saying, well, I would love to sell my house, but I don't have a place to go. And that's where we come in. We help maybe find some place temporary. We've got, Susan can talk about a temporary, it's a development, it's all rentals, and it's a purely temporary spot for people to go until they're ready to buy. And then we also have other options where we work with a company that will help you purchase your home and then sell it. They front you the cash, turns into a mortgage after you close, and then you sell your house. So we've got lots of options. So don't think that, it's just your traditional. People have gotten very, very creative in this market. You have to. But tell them, I'll have Susan speak on a community in Forsyth that's completely rental homes, brand new community, beautiful community.
Okay.
So there's a community up by us called Westbrook Lake, and it actually is a subdivision of brand new construction homes. So you're actually waiting for your new rental to be built.
Oh, wow.
So no one else has lived in it. They're doing, a minimum of a year lease, and their sizes range from 2,800 to 3,200 square feet.
Good
so
size
nice
houses.
size homes, and just everything's included, the lawn maintenance, everything.
Oh,
so
wow.
Might
So
be
a turnkey
great
solution.
Exactly, and might be a great in between. So, if you go with us to that neighborhood, we figure out when we could get you in a home and start the process now, so that by spring you have a new place to go, and we could get your house on the market for you.
And also another thing, I've got some buyers who found the perfect house. Their house was sold. They went into an Airbnb until, they get into their new home. So that's another option. Now,
If there's a will, there's a way,
close
right?
quarters, but hey, whatever works.
Right. Okay, so let's say that someone's out there listening right now and they're saying, I really know that I really should look at selling my property now. It's worth more probably than it's ever going to be worth in the foreseeable future. I've kind of outgrown it, or maybe it's a little too big for me, or whatever my circumstances are. Either I want to benefit from a financial standpoint and move into a different property, or my lifestyle requirements have changed. So where do they start? Obviously, they can get in touch with you, but where does that process start? You go and you meet with them, I assume, you have a conversation. Kind of tell me what that looks like.
We like to do 2 visits. We like to first come meet you, tell you a little bit about our team, see your property. Because until we really see your property and we understand everything that you have to offer, then we can do the best comp possible. So the first visits, could be as quick as a half hour to 45 minutes, meet and greet, see your property, and then we promptly come back at your convenience with a competitive market analysis for your home. And we give you an idea of the range that we think. And we also, that first visit, we give you ideas and we create a list that we actually email you on everything you need to do to get it ready.
Yes, and it's it's making that connection with those sellers.
Yep.
You want to make sure we usually bring 2 to 3 people from our team, because if I don't connect with you, they may connect with someone else from the team. So that's a huge part of it, I think, is making that connection, making sure that everyone gets along, that your personalities jive.
That makes sense. Well, selling your home is an emotional deal. It's not just about the dollars and cents. I mean, it's your home. It may be where you raised your kids, or have, great memories, or whatever it may happen to be. So there's a lot of moving parts there. And I think having a good relationship with whoever's going to work for you is a really key component there.
Yeah, I think that we bring a lot of empathy to the table. My gosh, I feel like we're therapists sometimes too, because
sure.
it's very emotional. You've got people that have lived in their homes and raised their kids, just like you said, for 20 years, and it's very emotional. So a lot of times emotions are high. People tend to want to just jump off that ledge.
Right.
It's our job really to help, keep them from doing that, to help make sure that everything goes smoothly throughout the process.
Yeah, that's great advice. So how can people get in touch with you?
Well, we have a website. It's our team is the Riess Team. It's the THERIESS team.com. Go to our website. You'll see a little bio on all of our team members. Just give one of us a call. We are happy to help.
Great. Are you guys on Facebook or anything like that?
We are. We've got a marketing specialist that handles our all of our marketing for us. We're on Instagram and Facebook. And we're getting a YouTube channel, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Well, there you go. That's exciting. Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. So if anyone is interested in at least exploring their real estate futures, I would encourage you to give these 2 ladies a call. They'll do a great job for you. Everything always starts with a conversation. And whenever you're making important financial decisions, you want to kind of start with the end and work your way backwards. So have some conversation with your spouse, or maybe think a little bit about what you want your retirement picture to end up looking like, and work your way backwards from there. And that includes real estate or investments or anything else. So, ladies, I thank you both for coming in. I think that was really, really good and really helpful. Exciting times in the real estate market. So I'm sure you're looking forward to another crazy 12 months in front of us.
Thank you so much, Tom, for having us. We had a blast.
Yes, thanks so much.
Great. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. You can check us out on all the normal outlets. You can also access our website, 3bfg.com. That's the number 3bfg.com. And all of our episodes can be found right there. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to When Good Things Happen. If you enjoyed today's show, visit whengoodthingshappen.com to share your retirement lifestyle dream, access information about our guests, and sign up for our newsletter. Be sure to rate and review us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Three Bridges Financial Group is an independent financial services firm that utilizes a variety of investment and insurance products. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management LLC, AEWM. AEWM and Three Bridges Financial Group are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as a sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Three Bridges Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute as tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Three Bridges Financial Group.